All right, so today is day 12, and we're reading Job 32 through 34. Now, in Job 32, a new person shows up, and his name is Elihu. Again, I don't know if I'm saying his name correctly, but it's Elihu. And I was like, where did he come from? He not other three friends, but apparently he was there the whole time. And he is mad, okay? He jumps into this conversation and he is upset because he feels like the friends did not respond well enough to what Job was saying. He felt like they did not take up for God appropriately. And so he feels like it's his turn to speak. And he does say that the reason why he was silent is because he's young. However, he feels like since he is young, he let the old people speak and they let him down. So now he's about to chime in and he says, even though I am young, I have the Spirit of God and he will let me know what I need to say. Essentially, I can be wise too. Elihu continues to speak in Job 33. And he basically says that to Job, you want to argue your case before God, you can argue it before me. Just period. What you want to tell him, just let me know. And I was like, the audacity. He coming in strong, okay? What do you mean tell you? You not God? But anyway, Elihu is coming in and he has a lot to say and he thinks a lot of words, okay? He was sitting there quiet. I don't know how long Job and his friends were in there in that conversation, but from the looks of it, Elihu was there every bit of it, okay? And he says, he lets Job know that God speaks to people in different ways. So even though you may not be able to hear him in your usual ways that you usually hear from him, he probably speaks to you in different ways now. Get up to it, okay? Get with it. He could change. He God, period. And then he goes on to mention that maybe that an angel, that everyone could have an angel on their side. And I thought like, oh, okay, maybe he's agreeing with Job a little bit because I don't know if you remember, but in the previous chapter, Job requests an intercessor to go on his behalf to speak before God. And then Elihu gives an example of an angel doing just this. And I was like, oh, okay, that's like what Job wanted anyway. So maybe Elihu, maybe he really spitting some stuff. He coming in, he came in hot, okay? And then Elihu speaks again in Job 34. And I think Elihu keeps going because, again, I don't know if you probably remember, in the previous chapter, it says Job's mouth was shut. Something like that. His lips was closed. So at this point, Job doesn't have anything else to say. So Elihu is taking it and running with it, okay? He is in chapter 34 now and still Elihu. So this is 3 chapters of Elihu speaking. And he says that in chapter 34, God brings what conduct deserves. And I'm like, so is he trying to say that Job is sinful again, like what the friends were saying in the first place? Like he's just repeating what they said. However, he brings a new perspective. He says that suffering can be corrective or protective, not merely punitive. So basically, God can be using this suffering that Job is going through to protect him from becoming wicked or sinning, because he could probably get a big head or whatever. And I thought that was an interesting perspective because everybody else was saying that he is going through this because of suffering, because of what he did, like a punitive, like you are going through this because you were wicked or you sinned. Elihu, even though he's young, he the only one who said maybe God is doing this to protect you or to correct you or correct the action. But if we remember all of this, God is doing this because Satan said he was traveling the earth to and fro. And he said, God being he said, have you considered my servant Job? So in a way, it's like he's testing Job to see if he will speak wicked to God. But I thought that was interesting, because this is the first time that his friends, or Elihu, I'm not sure if Elihu his friend or what. He said Elihu is the son of somebody. I don't know. But yeah, Elihu is the first person to say that Job is not, or the first person to not insinuate that Job is suffering because he is guilty of sin and wickedness. And I thought that was interesting. As always, this Bible is good to me. Until next time, see you next time. Okay.